Yeah, we still.
Absolutely. I'm
We
gonna
do
have
like
a couple of
fancy
things on that.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on listening to that.
That was the same thing as Harper.
Will the Senate please come to order? Our devotional exercises this morning will be conducted by Reverend Kenzan of the Shao Shan Temple of East Calais. Welcome.
On this snowy spring morning, I invite you to bring to mind the tranquil swell and roll of ocean waves under a blue sky, rolling peacefully to meet the shore, reaching up onto a sandy beach, then receding back out, joining the vast ocean. A continuing rhythmic repetition of waves rolling in and receding out. Like our breath, rolling full in and receding back out. Feeling our breath, rolling in like a wave, coming up on the sandy beach. Feeling our breath, receding out like a wave, returning to the vast ocean. Allowing peace of mind to roll in. Allowing agitation to subside. By noticing the waves of breath coming in and going out, foundational peace of mind can arise. May there be with us today an underlying peace of mind, a foundational peace of mind to which we can easily return even amidst the activities of our day. Like the background sound of rolling waves onto the shore, our breath is ever present. Throughout all the activities of the day, constantly flowing in and flowing out. Returning our attention to breathing allows peace of mind to arise and agitation to subside. May we go forth with a peaceful mind and heart into the activities of our day. And if we find ourselves swept up in the anxieties, may our attention return to our ever-present breath, flowing in and flowing out. And through this, reestablish our foundational peace of mind. Going forth into the activities of our day, may we have a peaceful mind and heart. Jiho san shi ishi fu shi san bu sa mo ko sa mo ko ho cha ho ro mi.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any announcements? Seeing none, we have a S-124 for Rule 31 referral. S-124, an act relating to miscellaneous agricultural subjects. From the Committee on Agriculture, please. Affecting the revenue of the state by Rule 31. It is referred to the Committee on Finance. The Senate resolution, JRS 21, joint resolution relating to weekend adjournment on April 11th, 2025, offered by Senator Baruth. Please listen to the reading of the resolution.
Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that when the two houses adjourn on Friday, April 11, 2025, it be to meet again no longer than Tuesday, April 15, 2025.
Question is, shall the Senate adopt the resolution? Are you ready for the question? If so, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and we have adopted JRS 21. Senate bills for introduction. S-145, an act relating to collective bargaining for Assistant Attorney General. Introduced by Senator Chittenden and others. Please listen to the first reading.
S-145, an act relating to collective bargaining for Assistant Attorneys General.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Government Operations. We now have S-146, an act relating to transportation demand management plans, introduced by Senators White and Harrison. Please listen to the first reading.
S-146, an act relating to transportation demand management plans.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, and it is referred to the Committee on Transportation. Orders of the day. We have H-80, an act relating to the Office of Healthcare Advocate, passed the House on March 20th, 2025. It was referred to the Committee on Health and Welfare, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the Senate propose to the House that the bill be amended as appears on page 680 of today's calendar, and then when such proposal of amendment, with such a proposal of amendment, the bill ought to pass. Listen to the second reading of the bill.
H-80, an act relating to the Office of the Healthcare Advocate.
Recognize the senator from Chittenden, Senator Bulick, for the report of the Committee on Health and Welfare.
Good morning, Mr. President. H-80 is a bill pertaining to the healthcare advocate, and a strike all can be found on page 680, as you said, of today's calendar. If you all are like me in your senatorial duties, you often receive questions from constituents. Some you can answer, and others you just don't have the knowledge or the scope of experience to answer. I know I've received many emails and some calls from constituents asking why a certain treatment wasn't being covered by insurance, or what they could do about being denied access to medical care. And some of the hardest ones are the ones where you hear from someone who just feels hopeless and confused by the incredible complexities of our healthcare system. In all of these questions, my counsel is the same. Please call the Healthcare Advocate's office. They run a helpline available to anyone in Vermont, and they help folks experiencing barriers that interfere with getting the care that they need. The HCA, as it is referred to, is a crucial resource to many of us with health policy questions. As someone who was new to health and welfare last term, the HCA was a huge help in breaking down a very complex system for someone who was starting to learn. They explain Vermont's healthcare landscape history and the many statutes that are found in Title 18. I'm pleased to bring H80 to you today because we have not updated the HCA statute since 2013. And this bill will bring our state law up to the practices and activities of the healthcare advocate. So they're already doing a lot of this work, and this is bringing our statute up to that level. The Office of the HCA, just for a little bit of history and a little bit of context, was known as the Healthcare Ombudsman, and was originally framed up in state statute in 1998. Through an RFP process, it started operations in Vermont Legal Aid in 1999, and it's been there ever since. In 2013, the office's name was changed to the Healthcare Advocate, and its duties were significantly expanded. And since its inception, the office has served about 70,000 Vermonters through its helpline, and has worked on the state's major health policy initiatives and reform efforts. I will take you through the sections of the bill. You can follow along if you'd like. Section 1 updates the health insurance rate review section of statute to strengthen the Healthcare Advocate Office's right to ask questions of health insurers in the Green Mountain Care Board's rate review process. Section 2 clarifies the role of the HCA and the long-term care ombudsman. So two different folks doing two different bodies of work, one really related to long-term care. And that is also housed in Vermont Legal Aid. So it clarifies their role in reviewing certificates of need application by the Green Mountain Care Board and including the right to receive confidential information in the proceedings. Section 3 is really the heart of the bill. It comprehensively updates Title 18, Chapter 229 of the Vermont statutes, the chapter that creates the HCA and describes the office's work on behalf of Vermonters in its relationship with state government. You can see subsection 9602. This subsection describes the office of the HCA and its composition. 9603 details the duties and the authority of the HCA. These updates here bring the HCA statutes into line with current practices and reflect how the office has grown into its role as an independent advocate for Vermonters in matters related to healthcare access and affordability. It clarifies that the HCA does more than help Vermonters with health insurance issues. The office helps Vermonters with access to care issues and helps Vermonters find ways to make that care more affordable, which is, as you know, something that's very important right now. The Healthcare Advocate's Office also helps Vermonters understand their rights under all kinds of statute and federal laws and regulations related to healthcare, and that's all included in this subsection. And the office is the voice of Vermonters on healthcare matters before not just the Green Mountain Care Board, but also the Department of Financial Regulation and other state agencies impacting healthcare. Section 9604 clearly calls upon agencies of state government to work with the Healthcare Advocate's Office when making important decisions about state healthcare policy and when appropriate to share confidential information with the office and to allow the office to be present at meetings. In other words, to make sure that the office has a seat at the table. 9605 clarifies when state agencies shall allow the HCA access to confidential information. Of course, that is consistent with state and federal law. 9606. This is the last part of the bill, or almost the last part. And it clarifies what constitutes a conflict of interest for the HCA to allow HCA staff to sit on boards of nonprofit healthcare organizations as long as the primary regulator for that provider is not an agency of the state of Vermont. And then section 4 is the effective date, which will be July 1st of 2025. Our committee vote in Senate Health and Welfare was 5-0-0. So it was a resounding support from our committee. And the witness list included the Office of Legislative Counsel, of course, Wendy Critchlow, who was the reporter from the House, Laura Beliveau, who's a staff attorney at the Green Mountain Care Board, Emily Brown, who is the Deputy Commissioner of Insurance at the Department of Financial Regulation, of course, Mike Fisher, who is the Chief Healthcare Advocate at Vermont Legal Aid, Ashley Johns, Staff Attorney, Agency of Human Services, and Sarah Teachout, who is the Director of Government, Public, and Media Relations at Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Our committee asks for the Senate's support. Thank you.
Question is, shall the Senate propose to the House to amend the bill as recommended by the Committee on Health and Welfare? Are you ready for the question? Senator from Franklin.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I inquire of the reporter of the bill?
The reporter is interrogated.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I look through the bill and listen to the comments from the reporter, it seems that the healthcare advocate plays a very important role in protecting the rights of Vermonters and Vermonters' access to healthcare, which is commendable. But the question comes to my mind is, what does the Department of Health do? Isn't that, as an agency, responsible for doing all of those things? Otherwise, why do we have it?
My simple answer would be that the Department of Health is an agency that sits in state government, and that the healthcare advocate and the healthcare advocate's office is an independent body. And I don't think I need to explain how that is different, or maybe I do.
Well, I always thought that agencies of government were there to help Vermonters. And we're there to ensure that the law is being properly enforced and fairly enforced and done for the benefit of the citizens who pay for them.
I think that is correct. I also think, as I tried to allude to early in my testimony, our healthcare system is at best Byzantine and at worst on the verge of, collapse and very dysfunctional. So there's a lot to it. It's very confusing. Vermonters often need assistance and need help. And the Office of the Healthcare Advocate is the place to go when one needs an independent voice and independent assistance.
I thank the reporter, and I understand the statements that she's made, but frankly, it's just disturbing to me that we need to hire an advocate to do the things that we expect the agencies of government to do as a matter of course, because that's why we bought and paid for them. So it's just a concern, and I understand the valuable role that the healthcare advocate plays, but it's regretful that we have a government that has to have an advocate to do what they're supposed to do in the first place. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator from Madison.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I rise in complete support of this bill. I think it's incredibly important that we update the statutes regarding our healthcare advocate. And to address the concerns of the senator from Franklin, the Department of Health is specifically a department that runs various public health programs. So they have a much broader view of public health as completely helping our whole population to stay healthy, population health, and public health more broadly through different programs like smoking cessation or maternal health or things like that. The Healthcare Advocate's Office works with individual Vermonters who are having a hard time accessing our healthcare system, mostly through access to insurance. With medical insurance. Our Department of Health doesn't operate medical insurance. That is done through the Department of Vermont Health Access. But the Department of Vermont Health Access mostly covers Medicaid and public health insurance. So the Healthcare Advocate's Office often helps Vermonters, as the reporter of the bill said, navigate the sort of Byzantine health insurance programs that are public and private, state and federal and all the things in between. So the healthcare advocate also plays an important role during Green Mountain Care Board, health insurance rate review, and hospital budget review, and also an important role here in this building, advocating for policies that protect Vermonters' rights and access to healthcare. So they play a very, very different role than the Department of Health, which is one that operates population health programs, broadly speaking. So I definitely support this bill and hope that the Senate will all support it unanimously. Thank you, Mr. President.
Are you ready for the question? The question is, shall the Senate propose to the House to amend the bill as recommended by the Committee on Health and Welfare? Are you ready for the question? If so, all in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And you have ordered third reading of H. What have we done? Oh, I skipped a question. The question is, shall the bill be read a third time? Are you ready for the question? If so, all in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. And now you've ordered third reading of H80. That completes the orders of the day. Senator from Chittenden.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pending announcements, I would move that the Senate stand in adjournment until 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 9.
Are there any announcements? Senator from Essex.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Agriculture will be 15 minutes after the fall of the gavel.
Senator from Chittenden.
Senate Health and Welfare will meet at 10:10.
Senator from Wyndham.
Senate Judiciary will meet at 10:25.
Senator from Lamoille.
Senate Transportation at 10.
Senator from Washington.
Natural Resources will meet at 10.
Senator from Chittenden.
Thank you, Mr. President. I neglected to ask the members of the Rules Committee to stay a moment behind when we adjourn. We'll have a very quick rules meeting.
Are there any further announcements? Senator from Windsor.
Thank you. Senate Economic Development, Housing and General Affairs will meet as our agenda has noted, I believe it's 10:15 or 10:30, I'm not fully sure, but I thought we'd be longer on the floor. I would like to say tomorrow we are having a joint hearing with House Commerce addressing our Vermont, Canada current trade and tariff challenges. And all of us are going through this and all of us have different aspects and vantage points and views on it. And I think all your members of this committee would appreciate if you have good questions for us to bring up or good concerns to bring up, we would really appreciate hearing them. So please feel free to be in touch with any one of us. We'll be spending all of tomorrow morning addressing this issue. Thank you. It affects all the businesses, most of the businesses in our district. Thanks.
Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, the senator from Chittenden Central has moved that the Senate stand in adjournment until 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Are you ready for the question? If so, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we have adjourned until 1 p.m. Wednesday, April 9th,